Hello everyone, welcome back to another Let's Talk Supercars episode, and this is a big one. It's the Repco Bathurst 1000 preview, and I'm your host Daniel, and I'm also here to welcome my co-host Alex. Welcome.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Well, we're finally here, finally at the big one, Alex. You excited?
Yep. As we just said, Scafey says, it's our grand final with 3 races to go.
It's a grand final.
No, but it's the big one. It's Bathurst, and yeah, everyone knows Bathurst. I'm really looking forward to it, and I reckon this year with the Gen 3 cars, it'll be a ripper.
It'll be very interesting to see how they go, actually, with less downforce, obviously, than the last few years. It'll be interesting how they go around, especially around the top, and at the chase as well. I'm curious to see how fast they go on a straight line. I'm very excited. Very excited.
Yeah, it should be a ripper.
But in saying that, we do have a lot to get into before action kicks away today, actually. Even though we're recording Wednesday night. By the time this uploads, it will be practice day. So without further ado, let's get on with probably the biggest annoying news for the weekend is the aero change for Ford. So there's been a lot of discussion ever since Sandown with PARITY. Yes, I said the word. I'm sorry, Alex. Ford teams have asked Supercars, or have put in a request for a potential aero change. I think they want to move it more rearward. Now, Supercars did say that they were going to have a team meeting Wednesday morning, which actually, surprisingly, got cancelled. I'm very surprised by that. In case you didn't see my sarcasm.
I don't understand.
But what they did was, instead, they have decided to have individual meetings with 888 and Ford representatives. But that was literally 11 a.m. and it's currently, 8:30 p.m. and we've heard nothing. Literally nothing. So from the sounds of it, I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately.
Well, surely you'd imagine it won't happen. We're literally 12 hours, 14 hours away from some track action. When are they going to do that? They've left it, once again, Supercars leaving everything to the last minute. And yeah, it's not a good look. I especially don't like the look when they say, hey, we're going to meet up with Ford representatives and 888, because that just means they're meeting up with DJR and 888. And 888 just seems to be the god of Supercars. So yeah, let's ask what they think, and then that'll work for everyone. It's not going to work for everyone. Everyone has a different car. And
the thing is, Ford have actually said that they've actually got the stuff ready to go. They're just waiting for permission to actually do it.
Yeah, but I don't understand why this didn't happen a week ago, because that's when they said it.
Because the whole thing is about the PARITY trigger. It hasn't been hit, because apparently, I don't know if you know about the trigger, that it needs to be hit. I can't remember the rules for it, but a certain thing needs to happen in order for Supercars to allow a change. And unfortunately, that is yet to happen for Bathurst. So that's their excuse. Okay. But I honestly, I'm not surprised by the fact that nothing's happened. And to be honest, I've said on my TikTok, which you mention on Let's Talk Motorsport, cheeky plug there. I put on my TikTok saying I doubt we'll see any changes before they do wind tunnel testing at the end of the year, and a lot of people I've got to agree with, might be just too late, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I seriously don't understand why they left this so late. This should have been done weeks ago. It probably should have been done before Sandown. And as we saw at Sandown, the cars were not even. That was based off more time, more than aero, though.
Yeah, that's true.
So it bothers me as a racing fan of Supercars that they just leave all these things so last minute. The media go crazy, and then everyone complains throughout the weekend. And I think that's what's going to happen this week. Let's see, on Saturday they do the top 10 shootout. I will not be surprised if there are no Mustangs in the top 10 shootout.
Nah.
Like, I just won't be shocked because there's so much parity at a track which requires so much downforce at the top and the bottom of the mountain.
It's definitely going to be tricky for one to win, at least.
Yeah, I really don't think it's going to look good. I think we're gonna come out on Monday, have our debrief, and think, what the heck? I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
for the sake
really
of
hope
the
I'm
sport,
wrong.
I hope you're wrong. But
for the sake of entertainment and for no Fords to complain about parity, then I'm very curious to see what's going to happen on the weekend.
Ford isn't going to Bathurst without a change, though. They're going to be rocking up with some new door body panels, and they're apparently lightweight as well. So it'll be lightweight doors and rear quarter panels, as well as a centre of gravity change, which, in my opinion, probably won't make barely any difference, to be honest, compared to the Aero.
I mean, it'll probably, as rude as it's going to sound, probably like shut them up a little bit. But, I agree. I don't think it's going to make any difference in terms of aero, and straight line speed is going to be an issue, I think.
Oh, for sure.
That they're going to have to contend with. So, yeah, lots of interesting points to come from this week.
I reckon their best friend this weekend might be safety cars happening in their favour, or like massive crashes for the Camaros. But
you can't rely on that.
No. But one thing we can guarantee is, I think I listened to this on the V8 Sleuth podcast. Camaro has, I think last time a Camaro was in the 10 at Bathurst was 1984 or something like that. So at least there's one thing we can confirm is Camaro will definitely break that record, or will definitely change that.
Should. Yeah. It'd be cool to have the Camaro back on the mountain. It'll look cool at least.
Oh, they do look mega.
And I'm not gonna lie, probably been the top step of the podium. But we'll see. And it will be cool. They'll make a heck of a racket across the top of the mountain. Actually, I reckon they sound better at the bottom. Just with the way that they scream. I don't know if you've heard them in real life, but yeah, they scream.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to go to the Bend, and they sounded dope. They sounded really nice.
Yeah, I went to the Grand Prix and heard them, and it was quite a scene. Back then, actually, the Mustang was pretty good. I actually kept catching fire, so maybe not.
Yeah, fire, that's right, yeah. They were a little too good, so...
a little too warm.
PARITY had to cook it a little bit.
The word parity was invented on that weekend.
That's it. Next big news to happen since Sandown. Tim Edwards was confirmed that he was leaving Tickford at the end of the year. Now, this was a surprise, but then again, not as the same time, if that makes sense. He's had a few rough... Like, Tickford in general have just had a few rough years in terms of costs and stuff. The amount of damage costs they've had last year, especially when they were in the middle of building Gen 3, it would have been such a stressful time. And honestly, he does deserve a break, to be honest, especially since he's been there since 2005.
Yeah, look, he's had a great stint. And, seeing pictures of him in the garage the last probably 3 years, you just think, mate, this guy needs to go to the beach or have a holiday. Like, he needs a break, man. I feel really bad for him sometimes. His smile has not come out very often lately.
That's it.
So, it'll be good for him, and it'd be interesting to see how they go after he leaves. So,
well, especially when they're moving down to a 2-car team as well. So a lot more focus will be on those 2 cars. So very interesting times ahead. But they haven't announced what's going on next year, nor has Tim actually announced what he's going to be doing. All we know is he'll be taking a little break to travel and be with family, which is, fair enough. He's pretty much, I guess you could say, he's well deserved. It's well earned. So good on him.
Yeah, and it's not like the how many years has it been? 18 years has been a waste.
No. Well, he's won a Bathurst and won a championship. Won 2 Bathurst, sorry.
Yeah, they've done good things. So, congrats to Tim on hopefully here is his retirement, and see how he goes.
So he'll definitely be looking for a good weekend this weekend, scoring hopefully his last Bathurst. I reckon, actually, in saying that, Tickford, if they have a good weekend, unlike Sandown, they keep an eye out for them. I reckon they'll be in for a potential win or a podium if the Camaras let them, which will be a tough challenge on its own.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy.
But speaking of stressful, this is a interesting news. Adrian Burgess was caught drink driving, which I did not expect, to be honest.
No one did.
Now I don't want to talk too much about it because, it's not a great thing to talk about. It's actually quite poor from him. You shouldn't be doing it at all, regardless. But apparently he was under a lot of stress with the Gen 3 and some family issues, which, it's understandable, but, it's not acceptable.
Not inexcusable.
No. And we don't condone it in any way here at Let's Talk Motorsport.
Not inexcusable.
But, he was fined $1,200 and was disqualified for 6 months. So, but he still keeps his job, though.
Yeah, it's just not a great look.
No.
Besides that, look, he's not done anything wrong at work. The only thing I'm curious about is why this took 3 months to come out.
Oh, probably legal reasons. Like, you weren't allowed to talk about it. I don't know. I'm so actually surprised. No, in saying that, though, I'm surprised that no one caught him. Not like a
That's
reporter or something didn't sneakily find out.
Yeah, or someone on Instagram or something.
But, so... Still, though, not ideal, but
No.
hopefully he learns from it. That's all we can hope for.
Sure.
But here's some news back to racing again. New wheel nuts will be used for Bathurst after the Tander incident at Sandown. Apparently, it turns out it was a faulty wheel nut design, which led to the crash. So all cars will be running new wheel nuts, which I think apparently are similar to the old Gen 2 ones towards the end of the year last year, I think. Don't quote me on that. I just read it somewhere, I'm pretty sure. But remember how I mentioned that a car went off on ride day back at Sandown?
Yes.
It turns out, one, it was an error bus that went off, and two, that was due to a spindle failure instead. So that was completely unrelated, so thank God for that. Still not great that a wheel fell off, but at least it's not the same issue. It's more of a team error for that part, or a part error. In turns, whereas whereas a component issue for the whole supercar grid, that's a problem. But
can I just say how you know how we were just mentioning before how everything takes so long and it's last minute? They went onto this straight away, like straight after Sandown, because let's face it, Bathurst is dangerous, and I don't think many drivers would be totally thrilled or comfortable driving with a wheel nut that's possibly not on properly or not designed well, and then head to turn 2 at Bathurst and roll the car like Luffy did a few years ago. So, let's not have that. So, thanks Supercars for fixing that quickly.
You got to give credit with Supercars; they are really quick when it comes to stuff like that. In honesty, we talk so hard. We talk really hard. What am I trying to say?
Harsh.
Here? We're harsh on Supercars. But they do a good job in most parts. It's just
they do
the balancing with the cars, it's just
safety they're good at. Yeah, safety they're good at. Like they'll, fix that straight away. But yeah, there is some sort of issue with getting some balance between the cars for sure. Like
for example, when Chaz had his massive crash in 2015, when he broke his leg because he whacked the gear stick. The next year they put a thing there to block it. So they are quick. They're quick on the ball with it. So
yeah, it's also, but the only thing is, it's unfortunate that events like that have to happen.
Oh yeah, of course.
But look, that's the way you learn. You can't prevent everything.
That's it.
Even especially if you don't know it existed. But let's face it, if that crash never happened, the cars would probably look the same inside as it did.
That's it. And
all those years ago.
And like we learnt with the fuel cell being at the back of the car, now it's in the middle. Like how much of a change that had. Especially when we saw with Thomas Randall and Andre Heimgartner came together at the Bend last year.
Yeah, it was the same crash as the Kyle Radler one, and nothing happened.
Yeah, which is fantastic.
Great.
Yeah. I mean, they might have been sore, but in terms of fire and stuff like that, there was nothing. So
yeah,
they know what they're doing with safety. But let's move on to some minor news now. The New Zealand round for next year has been locked in. It will be held April 19th to the 21st. And the Jason Richards Memorial Trophy will continue, which is great. And
that's good.
For some calendar news as well, we're apparently waiting on the Newcastle government or something like that to approve to either start the season. And if they fail, Supercars is looking at maybe going to Bathurst or Eastern Creek for the start, which I really hope they don't do.
Yeah. Well, I really didn't mind the Bathurst 500. That was kind of cool.
It was good, but it just felt very odd. It felt very odd.
It did feel weird. I prefer that, though, over having the 17 rounds of Eastern Creek again, like we had that year.
That was a snore fest. That was a snore fest.
That was a Red Bull fest.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, don't do that again.
No,
please.
so
hopefully the Newcastle Council work things out, because I actually drove around the track a month ago, just on a normal road. It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. So, and obviously the atmosphere in Newcastle is great. It makes a lot of noise around the city, and hopefully they can do a deal to maybe. Look, perhaps it may not be the start on the calendar, but it better be on the calendar.
Well, the thing is, it's fantastic atmosphere we've seen at the beginning of the year. The only thing is, it's just not wide enough for proper action with these new cars. But again, the atmosphere and the qualifying is incredible. It is literally our Monaco.
Or that and the Gold Coast.
Yeah, that too, which should also be very exciting coming up as well.
Oh,
I'm very excited for that.
Race.
But so I think Newcastle might be locked in for at least 1 year at least. I'm pretty sure. So who knows? But they should even do Bathurst in reverse, just for the fun, just for the lols.
That would be actually really cool.
Yeah, if they're gonna start it if they're gonna do like a Bathurst 500 again, do it backwards. Just change it up a bit. Next news, Red Bull have extended their sponsorship deal with Triple Eight. They've extended with additional 3 years. Of course, I think a month back or something, they extended their deal with Super Cheap Auto and Ampol. So, look, it's no surprise. That's why it's in the minor news. They've been with the team since 2013 and have been very successful since. And but this is the one I want to talk about a little bit. Some news for the Aussie Grand Prix next year. The Supercars have been bumped from the extended pit lane where they've been for so many years. I think from the beginning they've been there.
Yeah, since the start.
Yeah, so...
can I just say, having gone to the Grand Prix, I knew this was coming. 3 or 2 days after the Grand Prix was finished, there was news immediately that the F2 and F3 teams hated their paddock. And having seen it in real life, it was terrible.
Wasn't it very awkward?
Literally... Yes, you didn't go, did you?
No, I didn't get to go, unfortunately.
Yes, I was in the paddock. It's literally sat 10 meters behind the supercar garages.
Oh.
The F3 was even more weird because they had essentially 2 garages for 3 cars per team. So they had a car on the left, a car on the right, but almost at the wall, and then they had to squeeze in one of the cars in the middle.
It does sound messy.
On an angle.
That sounds
on an
messy.
angle. It was a mess. It was a complete mess. So that was terrible. And then I knew as soon as they did its pit stops for F2, I was like, no, this can't work in the F1 pit lane. Like yes, they do that in other races, but the Albert Park pit lane is really narrow.
Oh, it's very narrow.
So they needed a dedicated space, and I'm glad they got it. I've always said, and I don't think this is going to be a great idea, but in my mind, the back straight after the chicane, I always thought you could put a paddock there.
Oh yeah.
The problem is like on the outside. The problem is it'd be way too dangerous and fast, because that part of the track is ridiculously quick. There's not that much room. Like obviously you won't do pit stops there, but for space, I think there's enough room because the golf course is behind us. I think there's enough space, but obviously they're not going to do this. I'll be really interested to know where they'll put the supercars because the turning circle is shocking.
I think they've just, from what I've read, is they've just swapped Formula 2 and 3 with supercars around. Like they're going where they went, and they're going where they went. So whether that's true or not,
that's not good. Look, we're from Adelaide, right? And as Adelaideans, we hate the Melbourne have the Grand Prix. And having gone to it a few times, it's not even like made for it, man. Like that lake in the middle takes up so much space. It's insane. The paddocks are squashed in. And I really think they need to use the outside of the track a lot more. Like, there is so much space around from the back straight all the way to turn 1 on the outside. And they don't use any of it. It's all just paddock for the crowd.
Yeah,
they need to use that. They need to use that area for one of them at least. The Porsche one is okay. They're not too bad. But where they put F2 and especially F3 was dodgy as, man.
Sorry,
like,
we're going off topic here, but where's... I know Bathurst, but we're going
talking
about Melbourne.
Sorry.
But where's... So where is the Porsche paddock and stuff compared to...
So literally it's on the inside of turn 1, in between them and the main straight.
What the hell?
And then they have... And no, this is the best part. So they go from there all the way to the second to last corner to enter the racetrack. That's
just awkward. I mean...
Yeah, and then they come back in. Then they come back in at turn 1.
So that just sounds messy. So
it needs to be on the outside. I'm sorry. If they can get some sort of access point for the cars to enter the track on there, it needs to be on the outside. It has to.
Well, hopefully they work it out before next year, but I doubt it. But I guess we'll have to wait and see till, what is it, March or April? That's next year.
March. Yeah.
So we'll have to wait
talk
and
about it another time.
That's it.
But yeah, I'm not surprised at all with this news.
But that's pretty much all the news. Outside Bathurst, we've got a few liveries for this weekend, a few new ones. We've got a new tradie livery, which looks incredible. I love the white. We've got a new Blanchard Racing livery, which is very similar to the current Mercedes Formula 1 livery, which I love as well. I like how they got stuck with the black steel.
Yeah, it's cool.
Grove Racing have gold liveries, which look
interesting.
Look all right. I prefer their Sandown one, but
I prefer their normal.
Yeah, I actually forgot what they look like, to be honest. It's been a while.
Yeah, the gold's a bit much for me.
I didn't like it. I gotta admit, it reminds me. It reminds me of when in 2018 2028 when Erebus went with a gold livery, but that looked pretty good.
Yeah, that was a different gold. This one's a lot yellower.
Yeah, I think it's different.
The other one is it's a different shade, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this one.
No, I'm not either. But and some 2 minor new liveries. We've got Tim Slade and Jono Webb's. They're sporting a livery to support Movember. So it's just a minor livery change on the sides.
Which is funny because we're in October.
Yeah, but I guess it's supporting getting ready for... Well, in fairness, even though it's the start of October, November will come pretty quick.
Yeah, they could have done it on the Gold Coast.
They should have done it on the Gold Coast. That's a good point. Especially considering that's the last weekend of October.
Yeah, literally.
So that makes a bit more sense.
There you go.
And last but not least, Jack Smith and Jackson Evans is running a fan-powered livery, which has a whole heap of photos of fan best moments, and there's a lot of Jason Richards on that car as well, which is a nice little touch. So
sorry, I'm giggling because I don't know why. I just have this feeling that I don't understand why BJR do special liveries on Macaulay Jones or Jack Smith's car. for an obvious
Do
reason.
you know, actually,
I
in
don't
saying
know.
that, I'm actually surprised they didn't do it for Andre.
They never have. They've never touched his car. They've never done it for the best driver.
But I do love his car, though. I do still love this livery. But speaking of
Yeah,
liveries,
true. No,
Macaulay's
the
gone back
Jackson-
to normal. No more Teenage
Oh,
Mutant Ninja
good.
Turtle.
Thank God. I hated that. The Smith and Evans car looks fantastic, but let's be honest, we're not going to see it.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
We're not going to see it, and it's going to run last.
Who knows? You might be
So, like,
surprised.
Yeah, I know,
They might
but
win.
like, why didn't they put that on Andre's car?
No, I get,
You know
I
what
get
I
what you
mean?
mean. It makes more sense, especially considering they're both white and they both have a lot of space for it. Just slap it on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what you,
that's my
people
opinion,
think in the
right?
comments. It'll be interesting to see if anyone comments if they like that idea or they prefer
See if
home
I'm
company
right.
to wear it. Wear it. It's not
It's
an
just
outfit, but you know what I mean.
It's more for TV. I'm bringing up, not the fact that Jack Smith isn't great, but they don't show him very often.
Yeah, no, you're I
Right?
totally. Yeah, you're right.
So like, even I'm sure they'll bring it up and say, "Hey, you got a new livery, cool," but that's it.
It's like in Sandown. I think in our review we mentioned how the only time we saw him was when he had a battle with Aaron Love.
Yeah. So.
Anyway,
Oh well.
But so let's finally get on with some track information or weekend information. So obviously Bathurst, Mount Panorama, 6.2 kilometre circuit, a lot of decline and upcline. It's a street circuit as well, which we all sometimes forget. 23 turns, 1,000 kilometre race, 161 laps in total. And also the record, this is interesting. Chaz Mostert holds the record, 2 minute 3.3. I don't know if these cars will actually meet that or not. It'd be interesting to
It'd
see.
be interesting. I think they'll be quicker down the straight, but I think they'll lack it in the corners, especially around Skyline and Reed Park. So today's action, because we're recording this for Thursday. Today's action will be very interesting, based on just getting the cars up to speed. Something that we're not really used to, but they get, at least on the bright side, they'll get a lot of track time. I think it was seven practice sessions, I guess.
Something like that. And we will get into the schedule in a minute, but there is a lot of track running, and also a lot of other cars and stuff will be going out, so there'll be lots of rubber put onto the track, and should be good as long as the tyres hold.
I like how they have so much track action on Bathurst, but I kind of worked out because I actually went there the other month while I was on my way to Queensland, and I looked at the schedule on the Bathurst website, and they have like 3 events a year, 4 maybe.
Yeah.
So the track barely gets used for a race.
Well, that's the thing, because it is a street circuit. It is really tricky.
Yeah, it's a public road. So, yeah, unlike a track where like Eastern Creek, there's local races happening almost on every weekend, or even the Bend, Bathurst is barely touched, man. Like, it's got 4 or 5 races on it max a year. So it's really important for the running, not only for the cars to get accumulated to the track, but the grip and the tyres is the most important part.
Speaking of tyres, though, I'm pretty sure it's a soft tyre weekend, which is great for qualifying, but from what we've seen with Sandown, expect a lot of pit stops or some interesting strategies.
Super soft?
I think it's just
Or
normal softs. All I know is it will be a soft weekend.
Yeah, is that what they used last year, or is it?
I think so, actually.
I think so. I think it's
so.
the same.
It's the same tyre,
But,
anyway, but
at least they weren't stupid enough to use super softs.
that's it. But it'll be interesting to see how pit stops go, because obviously there isn't a compulsory pit stop anymore this year. However, there will be 1 brake pad change required. But problem is with these cars, you actually require to take the caliper out to replace it, which is messy. We saw at Sandown how messy it was. Some teams did it.
Yeah, literally using a drill.
Yeah, so it reminds me of... have you seen Ford vs. Ferrari, that movie?
No, I haven't actually.
Well, there's a scene where in the Le Mans race they change the whole brake assembly. It just reminds me of that.
Right.
It just reminds me of that. It just looks messy, but we already had a little bit of a rant back in the Sandown video or pod, which you can check on our channel. But it'll be interesting to see strategy-wise, because obviously the fuel tanks are a lot larger now, so they can go the distance. They can go quite a lengthy distance compared to the tyres. So there'll be less fuel stops. Let's just
Do we predict how many pit stops the minimum will be?
How many is there normally? 6?
7 normally.
7. I reckon. Oh, they'll probably milk it. If you include safety cars, I reckon about 7 to 9. I reckon.
Do you reckon the minimum will still be 7?
Minimum 7, but probably probably ideal anywhere between 7 to 9. I reckon, or 10 even.
Yeah, I reckon there's a big reason why they did this. So I reckon like 5 would be the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a feeling because it's a 6 to 7 hour race. You know, if you double stint a driver, could do 2 hours.
That's
Does
true.
the tank last that long though?
Well, the tank, or
That'd be the interesting thing.
I guess we won't really know until Friday. But when they do race runs,
I'm gonna guess 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna lock in 8. 8.
Really?
Yeah, just safety cars are just gonna, tyres are just gonna be shit. I guess we'll find it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, do you reckon it'll change if everyone would dive into the pit straight away? Probably not. Hey,
It'd be
because that's a really generic thing.
See, that's the good thing about Bathurst. It's completely unpredictable every year. So let's remind ourselves of 2014.
Yep.
How many safety cars? They had so many safety cars, plus a red flag.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But but no, I'm excited to actually see though. Very curious to see how many.
I think it'll make the racing a bit more interesting because there's no minimum anymore. I think that's a really good idea.
That's it. Yeah. And there'll also be this will be pretty cool, a car display / demonstration. I'm not sure exactly whereabouts on the track there'll be the display, but it's to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the... I'm going to get... No, okay. We had some off-air chat about V8 Sleuth's explanation of this. So it's apparently the 60th anniversary, but it's also actually the 63rd race of the Great Race, but it's actually the 60th one at Bathurst. It's a mess. It's a mess. Go check out V8 Sleuth, all right? you understand.
We don't really get it, they've done the race 60 times.
I'll let Noons explain it.
Yeah.
But
basically, the gist of it is this is the 60th race at Mount Panorama.
Is it?
But not... I don't know, man. Is that right?
I don't know. There's a 60 involved, all right, and there's cool cars. Go check it out.
Let's just pretend it's just... Yeah, let's just ignore the anniversary bit and they're racing this week.
But that's it.
That's all you need to know.
In saying that, though, there will be Larry Perkins, Wink Up and Lowndes, and others will be driving their cars as well, which will be pretty cool to see if you're at the track. But let's move on to the weather, as we briefly mentioned. It's going to be a cold weekend at Bathurst, with Thursday 15 degrees, Friday 17, Saturday 18, and Sunday will be 20, with a 5% chance of rain. Now, this could likely... It's Australia, so it could likely change very quickly. Rain shouldn't be a problem. The only day, probably maybe Friday, with 40% chance. But,
Really?
Yeah, well, according to this, I'm using weather zones, so I'm not sure how accurate that is. But I really don't... Well, it has been raining today, apparently, from what I've seen. So
I was going to say the day would probably affect most is tomorrow because the track would be damp.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't factor that in. That's a good point.
And then, there's probably a chance of rain tomorrow.
But luckily, Supercars don't go out till the afternoon, so they've got plenty of time for it.
But the weekend should be fine.
Sunday race day should be, that's the warmest day of the weekend. Should be fine.
Saturday, Sunday would be great.
Because I think I read that they had some power outages.
The weather's been terrible there. Yeah, the weather's been not good. Heavy winds and a lot of rain. They had rain, it was just 100% for today. So they definitely had a chance of thunderstorms tonight. Very interesting.
Yeah.
So I think
Jeez.
tomorrow won't be the best day for like what am I saying?
It's,
For practice. Yes.
it's sounding a lot better than today, at least.
Yeah, true, but yeah, you're right. The V8s don't come out until the afternoon, I think
Yeah,
midday.
so with that, let's get into the schedule. So
Sure.
Thursday, 5th of October, I'm only going to be talking about Super 2 and Supercars. If you do want the full schedule with all the categories, do check out Supercars' website or check out the Bathurst book that you can get at Track. So at 10 a.m, this is also Bathurst time, I want to point out. At 10 a.m, Dunlop Series go out for practice 1. Then Supercars go out for their first practice at 1:20 p.m. Followed at 2:50 p.m. will be Dunlop Series for their second practice. And then ending the day at 4:50 will be Supercars with their second practice, which is a co-driver session only. Also forgot to mention at 11:50 the PTEC Pit Stop Challenge will occur as well, so keep an eye on that. But on the Friday, we've got qualifying at 8:55. It's an early one for the Dunlop Series. They've got Super 3 qualifying, and then at 9:20, it's the Super 2 qualifying. They're doing a split quali for Bathurst this weekend, which they always do anyway. I don't know why I pointed that out. But at 10 a.m, Supercars go out for third practice session. Then at 1:05, they go out for practice 4. Dunlop Series at 3:15 go out for their first race, which is their one and only race, I'm pretty sure.
Nah, I think I went on Saturday.
Oh, this is Friday. I'm thinking it's Saturday. What am I doing? Yeah, this is...
Yeah.
I forgot it's a 4-day week. I'm not used to the 4-day weekends.
No, I haven't had one for probably the Grand Prix. I think it was the last one.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. But yeah, as Alex was saying, race 1 is race 1. It's not the end. At 4:15, Supercars go out for their qualifying, which is the biggest one of the year. Saturday, now we're on to Saturday. Dunlops go out for their second qualifying session at 8:55 and 9:20, same as Friday. Supercars at 10 a.m. go out for practice 5, which will be a co-driver session only. At 1 o'clock, Supercars go out for their 6th and final practice session. So that answers your question. They're doing 6 practices. And then Dunlop Series at 3:55 go out for their second and final race of the weekend. And then followed by at 5:05 p.m, Supercars go out for their top 10 shootout. And then on Sunday, it's a shorter timetable this time around. Supercars go out at 8 o'clock in the morning for a warm-up. And then, of course, at 9 a.m, they've got the drivers' parade, which if you're at the track, bring your camera. And at 11:15 is when the great race begins, which is also race 24 of the championship. That was a lot of talking.
Yes.
So that's the schedule. But that's what's happening at Bathurst. So it's going to be a big one.
Yeah, that's it. That's crazy. How packed the schedule is. If you actually look at the whole schedule with all the categories in it, it's yeah.
It's pretty cool. We got Porsches, we got sports sedans, Toyota 86s, V8 Utes, and who am I missing? Am I missing anyone?
I think it's just Super 2.
In yeah, okay. But basically a lot. And I've looked on KO. All the action starts pretty much 6:45 every day. Well, that's Adelaide time, but...
That's Adelaide time.
So what would that be?
And does that... So the meet... Hang on, what... Sorry, let me go to...
Well, while you're figuring that out, for everyone who's using free-to-air, apparently Friday to Sunday will be broadcasted. So that's really good, considering they never do free-to-air these days, which is a whole nother story.
They have to for qualifying purposes.
But
they probably won't start it until... I don't know, do you have the stats there? They probably won't start
no,
the...
I don't, unfortunately. I can have a look.
They probably won't start it until...
towards when qualifying, or probably the Super 2
No,
race, maybe?
Practice 3 probably.
Oh, yeah.
So 10 a.m.
I remember back in the day when, I remember 2014 when they delayed the broadcast. So, practice came late compared to real life.
Oh, right. Yeah, they might do that again.
Maybe.
Who knows? I don't watch free to race.
No, I'll watch KO. But let's get on with our predictions, which we briefly mentioned. But we've kind of got some idea of who potentially might win this year. But again, it's Bathurst. Could be anyone. But realistically, expect an Erebus Red Bull fight again.
Yeah. I think there's a few other teams that can get involved, which is good. Bring everyone up here. I definitely think that Andre Heimgartner can get up there.
I really hope so. I was going to say after predictions we should do like who does a dream, like what dream result would you like, and he was going to be like if he wins that would be mine. But
yeah,
because
I was trying to remember who I said could be up there. Look, I think the thing I said before last time was based off the Mustang being.
We mentioned about the
good.
Grove Racing because they were doing pretty well considering.
Yeah, I think I said Tanda and Reynolds to be the dark horse, and look, I'll stick with that, and I really hope that does happen because those two are very good at Bathurst. Yeah, I do still think though the my favorite actually is Whincup and Feeney. And
in saying that as well, it's been 11 years since Whincup has won at Bathurst. In 10 years, or something like that. Years. 2012 was the last time he won a race, and 2013 was the last time he was on the podium at Bathurst. So considering how much he's achieved since then,
no way.
It's I know, right? So he'll be looking at trying to rectify that. I reckon.
Wow. Look, I think this is his best chance with Brock because Brock's very acclimatized to the car now.
And it's Brock's fourth Bathurst, is it? Because I think he did it with James Courtney
he did it
in 2019.
He did the wild card with Ingle.
Oh, that's right, yep.
Yeah, he did the wild card, then he did it with
Whincup, because then after that he went to the full-time seat in 22.
I think he definitely did one with Courtney.
Yeah, that was 2020. That's right. Yeah, in the boost.
Yeah,
in the boost car. Yeah, yep.
And 2011 was the wild card. Sorry, 2011.
2011.
2021.
I was like, what?
God.
I had to go. You had to jolt my brain there. I was like, who?
Yeah, he raced when he was 11 years old. No, sorry, 2021.
I forgot about that part too. They get younger and younger.
Yeah, he's the same age as me. Actually, I think he's younger than me. So 2021 he raced with Ingle, and then last year was his first full time.
So they'll be looking for. Expect them to be in the top 4.
Yeah, you're right. He hasn't won since 2012.
Yeah, it's and speaking of that. Kate, that's what he called his car, which is usually lives at the Bend, as well as Brock Feeney's Adelaide winner from last year, which I was able to see when I went there back in September. Kate will be at the mountain this weekend. I'm not sure if Jamie will be driving it or not, but it'd be really cool to check it out. It's considering it's his last Bathurst win. But I reckon. Look out for, obviously, Brody and Giz. But I reckon I would really love to see Brown win it, especially with Jack Perkins, especially considering how many Bathursts he's done. And the Perkins name, you want it to win. And like you just said, he's always been there, and this year's his best chance, I reckon.
Yeah, he's always there or thereabouts. So I think definitely there is an opportunity for those two. And I kind of think that, no offense to everyone Jack Perkins has raced with, but I've got a feeling that Will Brown's the best one he's had.
Oh, yeah.
So Yeah, I think that's definitely an opportunity for them to do some damage for the weekend and hopefully be near the top.
Fingers crossed. That's the one I hope to win. I'll be happy if Brody wins, but I would love to see. I don't know. They're great. I really like them. And of course, it's Will's last Erebus one, and maybe, who knows, it might be his last one with Perkins too. Because AAA have all their drivers locked in pretty much next year in terms of co-driving and stuff like that. They've got so many drivers to choose from. But
it really just depends if they do a wild card or not.
Well, that's true. Like Gizzy, he might come back next year for Bathurst. And who knows?
I don't know though, because the NASCAR schedule is very. I don't know if you know this, but they race 33 weekends of the year. It's insane.
It is insane. I remember. I think I bought the Switch version of the game once, and the amount of just races there were, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But Gizzy's only doing like a part-time racing next year, though, in terms of he's going to be racing bits and pieces in Cup, Xfinity, and Truck Series. So he might be available. Who knows? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But
oh my god, it's 40 weeks long.
40? No.
40, I was wrong.
No.
Wow. It's so like the season goes for 40 weeks. They don't have 40 weeks of races. But
I thought Supercars was. I thought Formula 1 was long.
36 races over 10 months. There you go.
That's crazy.
So I doubt it.
But
actually, did you slightly off topic? Did you know we forgot to add it in the news? Did you know McLaughlin was approached by
AAA
Red Bull?
That would have been freaky, eh? That would have been very interesting.
As a McLaughlin fan,
I thought of you as soon as I saw it. I was like, you're gonna love that. You're gonna have to.
No way.
You're gonna have to buy Red Bull merchandise if that happened.
No. I'll just wear his old stuff. No.
Just wear his IndyCar stuff. There you go.
Yeah, it's so
expensive.
But no, actually, honestly, I don't know why he didn't. Like, he's getting this IndyCar schedule finishes in September.
Yeah, he finished ages ago.
And it's not like he'd need that much practice beforehand.
I think I know why. Because one, I think it's probably Penske, but I think he was loyal to DJR still. He didn't want to race against the enemy, in a way. But but who knows? That would have been interesting though. Imagine them, Gizzy with McLaughlin. They would have been a dangerous combo, I reckon.
Oh yeah, mate, favourites, 100%. Yeah. Jesus, I would have put your house on that one.
Because Gizzy, he misses McLaughlin. He's like racing against him. He's proven it. He's even said it many times.
Oh shit!
And their rivalry was like none other. So
I'll never forget Shane. We're going a bit off topic here, but I'll never forget Shane. I'll never forget Shane's interview. Like, what? He did an interview in New Zealand. He's like, "Oh, how come you've been so successful this year?" And he goes, "Oh, Scott effed off, didn't he?"
Yeah. Well, it's true though.
Look, I was actually shocked that he admitted that. I thought he would come up with something, actual proper answer, but I guess that is the honest truth. He is.
That's the kind of person he is, though. So I guess what more could you expect? But that could have been cool. But who knows? It's still plenty of time. We might see a future wild card with the two. Plenty of time.
Cool.
But who else was I going to say? Keep an eye on the Grove Racing, and if Tickford have a good day, look out for Cam Waters. If they can have a good opportunity,
also
I reckon
Walkinshaw, as well.
Yes and no. After they've been up and down this year, but Mozzie and Holdsworth have always been very quick. Of course, what was it? Was it 21 that they won? 21.
Yeah,
21. So they're bloody quick. They know how to drive around the mountain pretty well. So if they have a good package, expect a good result. But I reckon
100%.
Cam will be pushing. The amount of times he's gone close to first, he's still yet to win. so he'll be quite hungry. But I have a feeling it'll just be a Kamara show once again, similar to Sandown. So I am going to lock in Will Brown, I reckon. Will Brown or Brock Feeney.
So you're gonna lock. Okay, so let's do a lock in. So who do you think is gonna win?
So are we doing? Should we do
one?
Okay, this is what we should do. Let's lock in the podium. All right.
All right. Let's lock in a podium finish 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
And then a dark horse.
Okay.
A dark horse.
You want to go first?
All right. So I think that Brock and Whincup can do it again, as in win 2 races in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think it'd be Brody and David Russell, and then Brown and Perkins.
Okay, I reckon. See, they're all so really good. They're like, it's really hard, actually.
Yeah, it's super hard. The only reason why it's made easy is we're guessing that the Camaros will smash the Mustangs.
But I'm going to say it, right? I'm going to lock it in. It's going to be an Erebus 1-2 with Will Brown and Jack winning.
Wow.
And because I reckon Whincup's curse is still going to happen. All right? I reckon he's going to finish...
Well, let's see where finish the race
fifth,
and run out of fuel.
I'm actually going to say it. Whincup's going to finish 5th. Or 6th, I reckon.
Yeah.
And Gizzy will be 4th. And probably my dark horse will... Oh, I've got two. No, but... should we do...
I'm kind of regretting my answer.
I'm going to go with... No, I'm going to go with...
I'm kind of regretting my answer.
Who are you going to go with?
As dark horse?
Yeah.
I still want to say Reynolds and Tander.
Yeah, I'm going to say Cam Waters and James Moffat. We didn't get to see what they could do at Sandown, but we know how talented... Thing is, Reynolds and Tander are really good as well. They've got a good package too. So it will be very interesting.
There's too many good combinations. But I also think that a really random ass one could generally be Tim Slade and Jono Webb. Jono Webb's won there before.
I wasn't expecting that.
Hang on, but Tim Slade he can qualify well.
Yeah, like
he can be at the top. He qualified that. Was it second or pole? It was pole, wasn't it?
I think
the 500.
I think and then he crashed it on.
Yeah, then the gearbox made him have a huge crash. I don't know. That's my really big dark horse.
Okay, fine. I'll do a really big dark horse too. Andre Heimgartner and Dale Wood.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Because they were hit. They were at the back. Like when I say back, I mean they're at the back of that fighting front. They were waiting. Like if an accident happened with those 4 cars, they would have taken the opportunity and bounced. So if something happens, because it's Bathurst, anything can happen. Like they could come together. But I would love. I reckon I'm guaranteed Erebus 1-2 done.
All right, I got another question. Who do you think will be the first DNF? Obviously, we don't want anyone to crash.
All right, let's do a challenge. Let's do who you reckon will be first DNF plus the reason why. I reckon it will be. I don't want to say it, considering they had a disappointing weekend. I reckon. Oh no, I have to lock in one. I was going to do 2, but I have to lock in one.
You can do 2.
Do 2? Okay, it's either going to be...
So they're going to collide together?
Oh, even maybe. Either it's going to be car 56 in the tradie car due to a mechanical failure, or it's going to be car 34. I haven't thought of a reason yet. I feel bad because I want them to do... Yeah, Jack LeBrock and... Jano Jada.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to lock it in. I hope not.
Dude, I almost put them as my dark horse.
Yeah? See,
well, they did so good at Sandown and have done all year.
Well, yeah, but they had that... Didn't they have like an issue as well in Sandown too? So they didn't get to
I don't know.
Take advantage of that. But they're very quick, but I reckon, they might not have much luck in terms of carb. But we'll have to look back on this next week when we do the review. So
yeah, my first DNF, think it will be. I don't know if this will be the first one, but I don't think the Aaron Love car will finish. Who's his teammate again?
Kostecki. Jake Kostecki. Yeah, Kostecki.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna finish. I don't know if that'll be the first one, but it could be like, I reckon it'll be car 35. Or even Nick Perker, I don't know.
Are we bullying... Why are we bullying Matt Stone Racing?
I don't know. Well, I don't think it's a 34 car. I think they'll do great. But no, I think the Aaron Love car won't finish, unfortunately, because let's be honest, most wildcards don't.
That's true. And
like, could he... If Kai Allen is starting, maybe the 98. Yeah. But if Simona is starting, then I think they'll be in safe
Where
hands.
do you reckon? Where do you reckon they'll end up? I reckon they'll end up probably
mid-pack.
12th, I reckon. 12th or 11th.
I think like 18th, something 19th. Actually, speaking of where do you think he's going to finish, where do you think Lounsey and Goddard's going to finish? I reckon they're top 10. I reckon they're going to qualify. I reckon they'll actually qualify in the top 10.
7th, I reckon. I'm going to go 7th.
It depends who qualifies.
That's it.
If
I hope
doing
it does it.
So do I. If Lounsey's doing it, then I think they're within a chance to, definitely qualify top 10.
Yeah, I reckon 7th. I reckon.
Actually, while we're here on qualifying, who's going to be pole?
That will be...
That's just as important.
Brody Kostecki. I'm going to go. It's an Erebus fucking lockout. I'm going to go with it. Erebus train all the way.
Yeah, well, they're very dominant this year. Yeah, I think it'd be Brody or maybe Shane.
It depends on what mood Shane's in.
I kind of just want to say something different to you because I actually still think it'll be an Erebus 1-2, but
who knows? Camp Waters might set a good one. It depends on their performance. It's very unpredictable with
or even the Reynolds car still.
That's true. But thing is you reckon Reynolds will be able to, as a driver, put it on pole? I reckon he might be able to.
Done it before, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so, with the Erebus car. But he's sort of lost a bit of touch since then, in my opinion.
Look, I don't think it'd be there just based on the fact that the discrepancy between the two cars. So I do think Kamara's just going to wipe the floor. So for that fact, I'll also say the 1-2.
Yeah, so I guess we'll find out, I suppose. But I reckon we should call it there. It's,
yep.
I did not expect this to go for an hour. But
whoops.
But if you did enjoy this podcast weekend preview, do subscribe or follow wherever you're listening to, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio. Can't remember if there's anything else.
YouTube.
All the way. Anyway, you prefer to listen, it will be there. Comment who you think will do well this weekend, what your predictions are and whatnot. If you want to follow us, you can follow Alex at I'll let you do it, Alex. Go ahead. Knock yourself out.
It's really easy. Alex Spinozzi Sim Racing on Instagram, Facebook and Twitch. I try to do a weekly stream. Lately it hasn't gone to plan, but too many podcasts. Just follow me on those ones there. Be much appreciated.
And you can follow me at Daniel Leckel35 on Instagram as well. And also check out our official TikTok, Instagram and Facebook, all Let's Talk Motorsport. And Facebook is just Let's Talk Supercars because I couldn't get the name. But that's all from us for today. Stay tuned. Next week we'll be doing our Bathurst 1000 review as well as a Qatar Grand Prix review as well. So that's also happening as well, we've got to mention. So stay tuned for a busy week next week.
Yeah, 100%. It'll be a very jam-packed schedule.
That's it. But we're almost at the end of the year. We've only got 2 supercar races to go. And I think 5 Formula Ones after that. So
I love the end of this Supercar schedule, by the way. Bathurst, Gold Coast, Adelaide. It's perfect. Come on.
It's perfect. Two street circuits to end the year.
Lots of excitement.
Two hot street circuits, might I add, too. It's getting hotter as the year as the year ends. So I'm excited. So that's all from us. Thanks, Alex, for joining once again. And we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.